Welcome back to Birds of a Feather. This is your daily Baltimore sports podcast. My name is Nathan Stroud, and today we're going to be going over and talking about the Orioles' 8-7 win over the Chicago White Sox. Very tense game in the end. The Orioles were up 8-2 in this game heading into the 8th inning, and then the White Sox ended up scoring 5 runs in the 8th inning. All of a sudden it was 8-7. And the Orioles and Keegan Aiken was able to close the door and get it done. But the bullpen did almost sell a 6-run lead, which was a little bit crazy. But this is kind of what we expect out of this bullpen at the end of the day. But the offense played great in this game. Basayo and Beavers both hit a home run in this game. We'll go over that and more in just a second. But I do want to start this episode by saying that even though the Orioles won today, even though they also won the series against the White Sox with today's win, the Orioles have now officially been eliminated from playoff contention. As we pay our respects to the Orioles and say our goodbyes in a funeral-like setting, the Orioles are eliminated from the postseason. Everyone get your salutes. Everyone say your goodbyes. Pour one out for the Orioles here. Because their season, or not their season, but, their playoff hopes are now officially dead. But for us Orioles fans, and for the people who know about Baltimore sports and know about the Orioles and have been listening to this show and keeping up with the Baltimore Orioles in general this year, they know that this is no surprise. The Orioles have gone through a lot of stuff throughout the season. I've said it countless times. Pitching injuries, offensive slumps, and just injuries in general. A horrible free agency this past offseason. And then obviously, by the time that things started to look somewhat normal for the Orioles, it was already too late. The record was already down the drain. Then we had to trade everybody at the trade deadline, where we traded 9 players in total. And here we are. And obviously, I'm going to be doing a season recap on the day after the last game of the season. We're going to be doing a season recap episode. Going to be a super long episode, kind of going over things from start to finish, all the best moments, all the worst moments throughout the year. Because the Orioles definitely had their highs this season. I wouldn't say highs, plural, but, They had their moments, and that was recently, obviously, when we look back at the back-to-back walk-offs against the Dodgers. You look at the sweep against the Padres. You look at all that stuff. Those are the highs. You look at Basayo's first home run. You look at Basayo getting called up. You look at Beavers getting called up. You look at all that stuff. Those are the highs of the season. But there was a lot of lows. There was a lot of lows this year, and to see the Orioles officially eliminated from playoff contention, I'm not sitting here saying I'm surprised. We've known this. We've known this now for months at this point, that we knew that this Orioles team was not going to be making the playoffs and playing October baseball. But seeing the graphic, seeing the graphic that the MLB posted, and seeing now that it is officially over for the Orioles, it's a little sad, man. It is a little sad. I'm not going to sit here and lie. It is a little sad, especially knowing all of the expectations that this team had going into the year. We knew that this team was supposed to be a playoff lock, one, but also a team that could potentially compete for a World Series, coming off of a great year last year overall. Not in the playoffs, but off of a great regular season. The past 2 years, going into this season, the Orioles had the most combined wins in the American League over the past 2 seasons. 101 back in 2023, and then they had 91 wins last season. So, back-to-back 90-win years. One of them had 101 wins. So, obviously, the expectations for this Orioles team were really high. They didn't have the greatest offseason, but they still had their core of young, talented players on offense. And, pitching-wise, it was a question, and that was the biggest question heading into the year, was the starting pitching. And they kind of proved why it was a problem really early on. And the Orioles just couldn't really get into a rhythm at all. They couldn't find their groove. They couldn't get into a rhythm. They lost a ton of games early on. They kept falling behind. They lost in some heartbreaking ways. And overall, they just could not find a balance. They could not find an identity. They end up firing Brandon Hyde. They, get Tony Mansolino. And, they've carried out the season, from what it was. But Obviously, it started kind of going into the season there, but we are going to go over everything in more detail in the season recap, which is going to be happening here in like 11 days now, because there's or 12 days really, because there's only 11 games remaining for the Orioles this year. But without further ado, now that we got this out of the way, now that we've poured one out for the Orioles, now that we've kind of gotten over the fact that it is now officially over for the Orioles in terms of their playoff hopes, we are going to go over this Orioles game. And going over this Orioles game, the Orioles win this game 8-7 over the Chicago White Sox. The Orioles record moves to 71-80 with 11 games left on the season. If the Orioles win out the rest of this year, they will be 82-80. So if they are able to win the next 11 games, which is a lot. It's a lot to ask to win 11 games in a row. But if they win the next 11 games, the Orioles will have a above 500 record on the year officially. If they win, 10 of the next 11, they'll be tied 81-81 on the year. But if they are somehow able to win the next 11 games in a row, they will be 82-80 on the year and officially end the season above 500. That is obviously the best case scenario. That would be incredible with the Orioles being below 500 all season long. If they're able to go on some massive winning streak and end the season above 500 on the final game, that would kind of be like out of a storybook. It's like a storybook type ending, but that's extremely, extremely unlikely because we do have to play the Yankees like 7 times here in the next 11 games. So it's extremely unlikely that we get, it's extremely unlikely that we win the next 11 games. But, there always is a chance. There always is a hope. But the Orioles have won their past 2 games against the White Sox, and they've already taken the first 2 games of this 3-game series, which means the Orioles have won this series against the White Sox. They won yesterday 4-1. They won today 8-7. And going over this game, going over the offense played amazing. 13 total hits in this game. They also got walked 4 times. They had 2 home runs in this game, both by the young, talented players that we'll talk about in just 1 second. But again, 8 runs off of 13 hits. 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position, left 8 guys on base. So, again, the Orioles have struggled with runners in scoring position all year. They had another opportunity to score even more runs, but still 8 runs. You'll take that every single day. But going over the offense, Jackson Holliday today was leading off. He did not have a great game. This is definitely his worst game that he's had in the month of September. We talked about it yesterday. We've been talking about it all month now, where Jackson Holliday has really, really stepped it up here in the month of September, and he's batting like above a 350 in the month of September. And he's still having an amazing month, obviously, but today definitely had his worst game of this month. Went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts in this game. Did get walked once, so did get on base at least 1 time, but the 3 strikeouts is not great for Jackson Holliday. Jeremiah Jackson, though, he went 2 for 4 in this game with 2 runs scored and an RBI and a walk. So Jeremiah Jackson got on base 3 total times in this game, drove in a run, scored 2 runs himself. He's been incredible all year long. We understand how good Jeremiah Jackson is. We understand that he can play third. We understand that he can play the outfield. We understand all these things. So shout out to him. He's gonna have a spot in this lineup next year, and hopefully he has a good spring training to prove that. But going over to Gunnar Henderson, he was batting third in this game. And Gunnar Henderson is someone who we talked about yesterday who was having an extremely bad month of September. Unlike Jackson Holliday, Jackson Holliday was going crazy. He was doing his thing in the month of September. Gunnar Henderson was kind of the opposite. He was batting like a 160 in the month of September. He was really struggling. But today, he went out there today and went 3 for 5 with two RBIs and a run scored. Again, 3 hits, 1 run scored, 2 RBIs. That is the Gunnar Henderson that we know and love. That's the superstar player that we know, and it's good to see Gunnar out there getting a nice 3-hit day. And there's also, another Oriole in this game that had 3 hits that we'll go over in just a second. But Gunnar Henderson, great game by him. And then batting fourth in today's game is a very familiar face, someone who made his return back to the lineup. I don't actually remember when exactly the last time Jordan Westbrook played in an Orioles uniform. It was back pretty much a month ago. It was actually pretty much exactly a month ago that the last time Jordan Westbrook played for the Orioles. So after a month being on the injured list for a month, Jordan Westbrook is here, and he played today. We activated him off of the injured list today, and he played for the Orioles. He went 0 for 3 with a run scored and 2 walks, so Jordan Westburg was not able to get a hit in his comeback after a month. I think this is, the third time that he was on IL this season, but good to see Jordan Westburg come back here for the final, 10 to 11 games of the season. Just nice to see him out there, to be honest with you. But Jordan Westburg 0 for 3, a run scored, and 2 walks in this game. So nice to see him get on base twice, but did not get a hit, unfortunately. Then going over to Dylan Beavers. Dylan Beavers continues to play so good for the Orioles this year since we called him up. It's been about a month now since we last called him. It's been, a little over a month since he's been on the Major League team. And Dylan Beavers, he played incredible today. He went 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs, a home run, and a run scored, obviously, from the home run. So Dylan Beavers, 2 hits, 3 RBIs, had a home run in this game. Shout out to Dylan Beavers. I think this is his, second home run of his career. He's been damn close to getting some. But Dylan Beavers had the home run in this game, and his other hit was also a triple. So a home run and a triple in this game for Dylan Beavers. Shout out to him. He's been incredible all year. He's hit the ball very hard. He's hitting the ball in the right places. He's covering the ball very well. And again, as we know, Dylan Beavers is going to be a starting, left fielder or right fielder for the Orioles going into next season. We know that, but it's nice to see him do well here. Colton Cowser does not have the greatest game in the world, and Colton Cowser overall this season has struggled. He hasn't played the entire year. Obviously, he missed a couple of months with that thumb injury. But Colton Cowser, his average right now is sitting now below a 200. It's sitting at a 199. In today's game, he went 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. So Colton did struggle a little bit in today's game, which you don't love to see. But somebody who didn't struggle in today's game is Kobe Mayo, who went 3 for 5 in this game with a run scored. Didn't bring an RBI, didn't have a home run, but still had a 3-hit day with a run scored. His average goes up to a 201, so nice to see Kobe Mayo's average back in the 200s. And then going over to the 8th batter in today's game, it was Mr. Samuel Basallo, who went out there today and hit his 4th home run of his career now. Samuel Basallo 1 for 4 with a run scored and a 2-run homer. Again, 1 hit. It was a 2-run homer, and obviously scored the run off of it. But Samuel Basallo brings in 2 runs off of that 2-run home run. Shout out to him. He's been obviously not incredible this year, but we've seen flashes of absolute greatness from Samuel Basallo. The average isn't there. His average is sitting at a 188, which isn't great, but we've seen how hard he's hitting the ball. He's gotten a little bit unlucky on some of his, the balls that he's hit that's not gone out. But Samuel Basallo, again, he had the 2 walk-offs this season earlier this month. But Samuel Basallo, he's been amazing. He's been amazing this month. He's been amazing for the Orioles. We've seen the flashes. We've seen how hard he hits the ball. We've seen the pop. We've seen the power. And we also we signed him to that 8-year, $68 million extension. So he is with us for the long term. And I guarantee you that contract is going to end up being one of the best valued contracts in baseball because of how good and how important Samuel Basallo is going to be for this team. And same thing with Dylan Beavers and Jeremiah Jackson. Well, not Jeremiah Jackson, but same thing with Dylan Beavers. This isn't even Samuel Basallo's rookie year yet. Samuel Basallo's rookie season and his contract starts next year. Same thing with Dylan Beavers. So we're getting to see this baseball for pretty much free. Well, not really free, but you know what I mean. The rookie season doesn't start until next year because we called them up on that certain date, which is what a lot of other teams do, and which we were waiting for the Orioles to do. But Samuel Basallo, Dylan Beavers, I cannot wait to see their rookie years next year. Their full seasons on the Orioles, cannot wait. But Basallo has already shown so much promise on this team, and same thing with Beavers. And then batting ninth today was Dylan Carlson, went 2 for 4 with a run scored and a strikeout. Shout out to him. He's had his moments. He's played a great defensive left, right, and center field this season as well. So Dylan Carlson with a 2-hit day. So Carlson had a 2-hit day. Kobe Mayo had a 2-hit day. Dylan Beavers had a 2-hit day. Gunnar Henderson had a 2-hit day. And Jeremiah Jackson had a 2-hit day. So the offense was great in this game. But going over to the pitching, Dean Kramer ended up getting the win in this game. He's 10-10 now on the year. Got through 5.2 innings, gave up 2 runs, had 4 strikeouts, and gave up a home run. Gave up 4 hits and 3 walks, but did only give up 2 runs, so got through the traffic well. 5.2 innings, 2 runs, not too bad for Dean Kramer. The strikeout numbers really weren't there, but not a bad start from Dean. Does get the win, the 10th win on the year for him. And then Geraldo came in, 1.1 innings, didn't give up a run. And then Chase McDermott, somebody who is a starting pitcher in AAA, someone who's been a starting pitcher for AAA for quite a while now. We ended up calling him back up to the major leagues, and he's somebody that was going to be coming out of the bullpen. And he did not look good in today's game. I will say that right now. Got through only 0.2 innings, had 31 pitches in 0.2 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 walk, and 4 runs in 0.2 innings. So Chase McDermott not looking too good this year, an 11.88 ERA in his limited outings this year. And then Rico Garcia gave up a solo home run, 0.1 innings, obviously 1 hit, 1 run from the solo home run. And then Keegan Aiken in the 9th inning was able to go out there and get the save. He gave up a hit, but he was able to get 2 strikeouts of the 3 outs that he got. And Keegan Aiken was out there and was able to get his 6th save of the year. And the Orioles were able to win. Again, the Orioles were winning 8-2 going into the 8th inning. The White Sox scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th. All of a sudden it was 8-7, and the Orioles were able to get the win. Thankfully, it was a little bit close, but we've seen some wild stuff with this Orioles team this year. And then going over to the game tomorrow. Tomorrow's game is going to be an early game, but we are going to have Tyler Wells on the mound. He's looked incredible in his first 2 outings back from the injury. Going to be having his 3rd start back. He's looked great. 1-0, 231 record, 11 innings, 10 strikeouts, a .60 whip. He's looked amazing in his first 2 starts, and hopefully he can keep it up tomorrow against the White Sox. And if the Orioles win tomorrow, they will get a sweep on the White Sox, which would be really, really nice to see. And hopefully we can see that tomorrow with this team. But thank you guys so much for tuning into and listening to this episode of Birds of a Feather. If you like this content, make sure to subscribe on YouTube, follow up on Spotify. Also, make sure to click the link in bio to check out the Instagram and the Twitter. I post live updates on Twitter of every Orioles game, every Ravens game, every Ravens or Orioles updates or anything like that. Make sure to give the Twitter a follow. Make sure to give the Instagram a follow as well. Make sure to click the link in the bio for that. And again, I appreciate all of you guys so much. We got some big news coming out later this week, so make sure to tune in to the socials for that. Make sure to tune into the Instagram. Make sure to tune into the Twitter. And again, for all the ears that have been listening to the show, for all the eyes that have been watching the YouTube, for all the ears that have been listening to the Spotify, and just in general listening to the show, I really do appreciate you guys so much. The vision for the show is bright. The future of the show is bright, and I really do see something special going on with the show, and I appreciate all of you guys for supporting me throughout this entire thing. For real, this is like a dream come true, being able to talk about my teams like this. And we're 151 games down through this Orioles season. We've also obviously talked a lot about the Ravens, which we are going to be talking about the Ravens a lot more in tomorrow's episode, because tomorrow practice is starting again for the Ravens. So there wasn't really anything to go over the past 2 days. But tomorrow practice is back for the Ravens, so we're going to have some big updates there that we're going to go over, and then also we're going to go over the Orioles game as well. And one thing I will say, the Orioles have 11 more games left this season, and I will say, just enjoy it. Enjoy these next 11 games. Have fun with it. I understand the Orioles got eliminated from the playoffs. I understand that it's not looking, that it hasn't looked good all year. But there is things to be excited about going into next season. So just enjoy these games. Enjoy these next 11 games. Have fun with it. And we move forward together. And then obviously we're going to be focusing on Ravens football season once everything is said and done. With the Orioles, obviously we'll cover any big Orioles news that happens, but for the most part, it's going to be Ravens football talk for the foreseeable future until probably, the offseason really starts for baseball. So, again, I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. You have a great sales day. Go O's, go Ravens, and I'll see you later. Peace out.